hello, and welcome to episode 98 of Levels Plus Whenever. Ooh, there we go. Appropriate-ish lighting. The fun of dealing with natural light. So this episode is a little all over the place. It's going to talk about Extreme G, Iggy's Wreckin' Balls, and Nintendo Switch Online a little bit. I got a Femtendo 87 update that I recorded a while ago that I just haven't been able to fit into a video. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about Tekken. Oh my god, I like a Tekken game. But before we do that, a quick pickup that I don't think I accommodated for in the mess of everything that came in right before I went on vacation and then the Gamers in Control visit is I have Oyuden Chronicle. I kickstarted this thing and I have it. I don't have all the extra stuff that's supposed to come with it. That's coming down the road, but I have the game. I do wish that reviews were a little bit kinder, but I'm gonna give it some time to patch up. I genuinely think losing their director probably impacted the game a little bit in terms of the final moments, but I am very excited to probably start this up over the summer. Alright, here is the Zelda essay. I just finished it, and that includes the pictures. I did a photo shoot outside with all of those amiibo I bought. And I think it turned out really, really awesome. I did a little bit of effects work after the fact, and I think this looks great. I really like how I designed this particular section. It's been a little bit since I did like a whole bunch of different designs for book chapters. But basically what this section does is it breaks down all of the games that Zelda has been in that's been published by Nintendo. I have to make that qualifier because of Philips. And then I did another picture that I also am quite happy with. And there's all of the places where I got the things. So yeah, I'm just genuinely very happy with the way that this section turned out. And I don't know. I've got a lot to do still with Femtendo 1987. Like, here's an example. This is what a blank template looks like. Before I put anything in there, but all of this layout's done. But there's just a lot of women in 1987 that I want to cover. Enough to do 2 tables of contents pages. And I have to write probably a good, 30? Still, I think. That looks right. Sounds right based on the number there. And then, of course, I have all of this stuff in the back, which, these have been written already. But if I scroll down a little bit, I think I still have a few to do. Yeah, so like this for Hokkaido Orenza Satsujin. I still have a ton to do researching that. These games I haven't even touched writing yet. So the goal is to try to get moving on this now. The Zelda essay was a great kind of launching point to get back into it. But as you can see, I'm on page 333 here. The original Femtendo 83 through 86 didn't even approach that number. I want to say it was in the 200 range. So this is going to be a dense book. Another thing that I did recently is I updated the cartridges to be reflective of games that came out in 87. And luckily there was quite a few colorful ones, so it's a very attractive looking flip out there. And I've got a couple people I probably need to update in the special thanks and all that. So there's still quite a bit of work to do for Femtendo 87, but I'm getting ready to work on it again. I'm getting excited. I'm getting pumped about it. And I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be a great book. And 88 will probably be a little bit smaller because I'm going to start being a little bit stricter on who I'm including in here. I wanted to be pretty broad with the first two books to kind of set a template. And then once we start getting princesses and stuff starting like 88 that are damsels in distress, unless they're prominent characters who had an appearance in more than one game, they're probably going to be in the back section. But yeah, I'm pretty excited, and I think I showed the cover in an earlier episode, but it's been a bit. There's the cover. And the back cover is going to be one of those Zelda pictures. I haven't decided which one yet. I'll have to figure that out, which works best with the text box in the back. And won't get cut off by a barcode. Just what in the hell? I have Extreme G for the N64 from Acclaim Entertainment on my Switch via Nintendo Switch Online. What? It's not only that. It's not only that. It's also... Oops. Hang on. Let me remember how to operate system. It's also this game. It's also Iggy's Wreckin' Balls. Complete with the Acclaim logos. This is the weirdest crap. What an NSO update. Certainly did not see this coming. Oh, man. So, yeah. Of all the things to end up on Nintendo Switch Online. By the way, thanks to World of Long Plays, because I didn't want to just keep the trailer running. So you'll actually get to see somebody possibly proficient at this game. Other than me. Extreme G, Iggy's Wreckin' Balls. 2 games by Acclaim. Defunct publisher. Developed by Probe and Iguana, 2 defunct developers. Currently owned by Throwback Entertainment. Popping up on the Nintendo 64 app of all things. It's just weird in so many ways how that's happening, you know? I haven't quite got over it. I recorded my reaction, and this is like a week later. It's just like, of all the games of the N64 to resurrect, I would not have expected these two from Acclaim to show up. I would have expected Konami to get on board, or Capcom to get on board, or Namco to get on board before Acclaim. I would have expected even Square Enix to get on board. Ogre Battle 64 has precedence on both the Wii and Wii U virtual consoles. It's just bizarre that this is the one. This is where we're going. Which, you know, that's the cool thing about Nintendo Switch Online service, is that it does resurrect things you don't expect it to. Like Diva on the Famicom getting released in the United States, North America. Obscure 1/6 of an overall multimedia franchise that died out almost immediately after it started. You could play that on Nintendo Switch Online. But that's, you know, I have a lot of respect for this approach, because it's genuine surprise that we get some of the games that show up now, and there is a little bit more regularity. Like, we had a little bit of a break at the beginning of the year, but in April we had 3 different console updates. We had the Super Nintendo get a bunch of stuff, and then we had the Game Boy Advance get an F-Zero game, and now we've got Extreme G and Iggy's Wrecking Balls on the N64. We haven't got a Genesis update in a very long time. And we haven't got a proper Game Boy update in a very long time. And it would be great if we got a lot more Game Boy Advance games and even more N64 games to try to catch up a little bit. But even in that case, like, there's so much just sitting out there on the NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, N64, and Genesis, that these services could be arcade archives like, and we could get a new game every week. It doesn't matter if it was a different system or not. We could absolutely pull that off, but that's not Nintendo's approach, and, you know, that's just probably a discussion for another video. But, you know, kudos to Nintendo for finding ways to bring back stuff that just you would not expect at all. And with that, we're going to move into the final piece of this video. So I played Tekken 8, and I like Tekken 8. How have I, one of the world's most vehement Tekken dislikers, turn completely around on Tekken 8? Well, I suppose I should give a little bit of background, because I don't know if I've even talked about Tekken on this show before. But my general experience with Tekken has been in arcades, and it was the early days. So it was Tekken 1, Tekken 2. And for whatever reason, I just didn't find a character that resonated with me or found the controls easy to understand. I definitely skewed Virtua Fighter in these early moments of 3D fighting games. And then when Soul Calibur came out on the Dreamcast, that's where my Namco 3D fighter preference fell, until they kind of beat that goodwill out of me by not quite replicating the success of the first game with 2 and 3, in my opinion, mind. A lot of people really like 2, but I really just thought that it lost something. So, after playing Tekken 1 and Tekken 2, getting frustrated at the control scheme, trying to understand, trying to find a character, it just wasn't clicking. And Tekken Tag Tournament, I think, was like the final straw for me to just give up trying to figure out Tekken and just say, I don't like Tekken. So many games have come in between Tekken Tag Tournament and now. I totally missed Tekken 3, which came out before Tag Tournament, if my memory's correct. And then we had 4, 5, 6, 7, Tag Tournament 2 in there. I just never touched them. Never had an interest, to be completely honest. But Tekken 8 looked like they were doing some things that connected with me in a different way than past Tekken games. I don't know what it is about fighting games as of late, but they sure are doing a fantastic job of designing a character that seems to directly hit what I want out of fighting games. So King of Fighters 15 did it with Isla, Street Fighter 6 did it with Kimberly, and Tekken 8 has done it with Reina. All three are fantastic women combatants that I genuinely think bring something really new and exciting and fresh to the character designs in their respective games. And Reina is just a spectacularly designed character. You can kind of see the Bayonetta connection, since the same artist created both. I forget her name, but I'll put it down below. She's spectacular, and Reina's design is top-notch as far as I'm concerned. Just perfect. It's like I have a character customization option, and I'm looking at it going, I don't want to mess this up. And she's a lot of fun. She's not 100% a ripoff of anyone on the roster, but she's filling a little bit of a hole left by Heihachi. But she's still doing her own thing, and along with that, she's bringing a lot of interesting future potential to the world of Tekken. And I greatly enjoyed running through the story mode, which has you bouncing mostly as Jin, but you get to play quite a few different characters along that journey. And even though I have missed 7 games essentially of plot outside of watching endings, I still enjoyed it. I thought that it had a pretty decent hook, even for someone just jumping into it new and organically like I did. So yeah, somehow, some way, Bandai Namco has managed to hook me, possibly losing some of their more diehard fans in the process. Because some of the big Tekken heads out there aren't as into this game, and it's very different from 7 from what I understand. And that's okay. I mean, that I think just happens with any fighting game that's been around for a while that really decides it wants to iterate and do something different than just kind of rehashing. And Tekken has not really been afraid of experimenting too much. They've definitely had their moments. Flavia sees a bird out there, so you're getting a little extra Flavia chirping. But yeah, it looks great. It feels great. I feel like I finally am able to understand the controls after all this time. It's great having a character that I'm wanting to play, that I'm interested in learning how to play. It's good. It's quite a good game for a casual fighting game fan like me, who doesn't play anything competitively or sits down with anything long enough to actually get super, super good, but just like dabbles. So I'm glad that I got Tekken 8 at Gamers in Control, and I'm glad that I like it. I'm glad that I want to continue owning it as part of my collection. That makes me happy. It's nice to have a game that has been in a series that I've never been the biggest fan of do something to make me rethink my position. I like that. And whenever it happens, it's a very pleasant surprise. So there's an extremely short review of Tekken 8. It's good for me. I'm happy. Alright, well, like I said, this is a bit of a mishmash of an episode, but I've got things kind of planned out for up to episode 100 is right around the corner. We'll probably get to that late May, I'm going to guess. So that's pretty exciting that we've actually had 100 episodes of this show. It's kind of hard to believe, but you'll have to just wait and see what the topic is. All right, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful set of days till we meet again. Take care.